somewhere driving right now. He's not here. My FJA brother, he's at a basketball game. But this is a topic that I know Joe wanted to be here for. If he had to talk about Josh Point oh, is Josh Allen overrated? After playing 6 seasons for the Bills, Josh Allen fell short again in the playoffs. But yet, he's still up there with the top five quarterbacks. He's definitely gonna be in your top 10. There's no flanking it on that one.
Mm-mm.
But Joe, I wish you was here for this one because we're gonna have a lot to say, and Dave's gonna have a field day. So I'm gonna let Dave start. Do you believe? Not even that. I'm gonna just say, is Josh Allen overrated?
For me, it depends on what people are saying about him. Is he a top two quarterback? No. No, he's not a top two quarterback. Two best quarterbacks in the league right now, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. That's without question. That's without question. Now, is he top five? I would still say yes. I would still say yes. He's still a top five quarterback. Now, granted, he is a turnover machine. One thing he gonna do is give you the ball. He give you an opportunity to get the ball back, and that's not what you want in your starting quarterback. Now, I will say this though: in the playoffs, he has not turned it over this season. He did not turn the play. He did not turn the ball over in the playoffs this year. He did fumble the ball in the last game, but
They got
his
it back.
teammate recovered the ball, so it does not count as a turnover. Josh Allen, we know what he can do. He has a strong arm. We know that's one thing they always said about him. He can run. We know that he's one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the league, and he's one of the more tougher built quarterbacks in the league to where he can take on the crash dummy, what we call the NFL, the collision sport. He can take on those hits most of the time. But if we're saying that he's on the same level as Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or even like an Aaron Rodgers, who's he did not play this year, but he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. You can't give him that. He has not gotten to the Super Bowl just yet. He has not. Josh Allen has not beaten one of the top quarterbacks in the league that played the entire game. Let me say that. Now, when he played against Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, Joe has said this. They were up 17-3 against Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson went out in the third quarter because due to injury. So I will give him that one. He did beat Lamar Jackson because Lamar Jackson started a game even though he didn't finish it. That's a game that counts for Josh Allen. But other than that, he has not beaten Joe Burrow in the playoffs. He has not beaten Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. For some reason, he cannot beat the top quarterbacks in the AFC in the playoffs. He's beaten Mac Jones, though. Blew them out. The other quarterback I believe, was it was the quarterback for the Dolphins, who was the backup because Tua was not there. So who has he gone up against in the playoffs to say that he beat a top quarterback? You can't say that about him. He can't be. He's 0-4 in the playoffs against Patrick Mahomes, 0-5 in the playoff against Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. So he has to be able to get over that hump to put him in that upper echelon of those quarterbacks. Those three quarterbacks. I mean, even though Lamar Jackson has not gotten there, Lamar Jackson is about to have his second MVP and his second first team All Pro. Josh Allen doesn't even have an All Pro yet. He doesn't have an All Pro yet. He doesn't have an AFC. He doesn't have an AFC championship. So I don't know what everyone is thinking as far as where he's rated. Now, if you say he's a top 5 quarterback, okay, he's not overrated. But if you call him top 2, yes, he's overrated. You're on mute, Tomo.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But now, if you're talking to Dan Orlowski, he's overrated.
Yes,
If you're
yes.
talking to Dan Orlowski, Josh
Um,
Allen is definitely overrated. But I mean, if you're listening to Dan Orlowski and you want to understand what Dan Orlowski is saying, then you would think that Josh Allen is underrated based upon how he's being judged. So to
mhm.
me, seventh round pick for the Bills, they drafted up with Tampa. Funny that we was talking about Tampa in the last segment to get the 12th pick from the 12th pick to go get Josh Allen. Say, look, we're the Buffalo Bills. We play in the cold. We got a new stadium. We're not going to actually build a dome because we like the elements. We like the fact that the whole city wants to come out and shovel every time it's a playoff game just to know that we're going to lose. But that's just me being a troll. He also got his extension. Uh, Everything you said prior to me adding my 2 cents to this topic is true. He has the big arm. He has all the intangibles of a quarterback that you want outside of what's going on up here at times. Like,
Mhm.
hey, Josh, you don't have to always aim for the big play. Technically, that's kind of why they lost to Kansas City. He was looking for the big play when the play was underneath to be made to your number one receiver. Normally, when you go for the big play, you looking for your number one receiver. Actually, he overlooked his and just threw it down the field and it was like, I got bumped and it was short arm. Cool.
Yeah.
But the turnovers are a thing. You can lead the league in touchdowns all you want, but if you're turning the ball over at the same rate, how many games are you actually at chance of winning?
You know what's crazy, Tomo? When you just said that, I thought about someone who was in the top of touchdowns and in the top in turnovers.
Who was that?
Jameis Winston.
And look what Jameis said
Remember what he did when he was at Tampa Bay? He threw for 30 touchdowns and
at
also
30
threw
for
for
30.
30 interceptions.
At 30 for 30.
So
That's funny because
that's something to think about.
2020 vision. That's funny. And since being in the league since 2018, he has 102 turnovers. 102 turnovers. And you're trying to tell me that this is what you want to call a top two quarterback. Now, granted, the one thing that he has over Lamar Jackson is reliability. And some people would debate that. You can if you want to. That's for another day because technically Lamar did miss the last 7 games, 6 to 7 games of the last 2 seasons, but he's here now. And look what happens when he's here. Josh Allen, I don't think he's actually missed any games due to injuries. So you can give him that. You can give him the big arm. Again, he can make the plays. We jokingly call him a fullback because he's the only quarterback I know that took some of the hits in the last playoff game and got right back up like nothing ever happened. Like,
Man, every time I see it, it amazes me. I'm like, dog, I don't see how he does it.
insanity. Like I can't even be mad at it. But you also named playoff wins, and that's where we judge most of our quarterbacks anyway, right? This is where I
Exactly.
have my infamous debate with Joe about why I say Dak Prescott and Josh Allen are the same too. But what's the first thing everyone's gonna say? Dak never got to an NFC championship game. Okay, one guy got there, but he lost it.
Hmm.
So again, if you're and one of my another Joe gonna use this in his notes, but it's cool. I said this about Dak that he can't punch up in his weight class. I can say the same thing about Josh Allen when it comes to
That's
the
facts.
playoffs.
That's facts. He can't punch up. He can punch down, but he can't punch up.
Here are the names. 3 quarters, you got Lamar Jackson. I mean, I don't really like that when Joe says it sometimes because it's like I've seen teams come back in the fourth quarter. Like
That's true.
we've seen it happen. So but it's the facts are the facts. 3 quarters of Lamar Jackson. But other than that, he's beaten Philip Rivers on his farewell tour,
Hmm.
Mac Jones, as you said, Skylar Tompkins, and Mason Rudolph. These are the quarterbacks that he went up against in the playoffs. So now he has the worst record against top five quarterbacks or starting quarterbacks. He's 1-5 in the playoffs.
Hmm.
Dak Prescott is 2-5. Alex Smith is 2-5. Those two names, two of those quarterbacks, all three of those quarterbacks. I mean, outside of the fact that Josh Allen can run and barrel down a linebacker, they kind of sound like the same people.
Yeah, but Alex Smith's the only one of those three that actually got to a Super Bowl.
I mean, you're right. I'll give you that one. I knew you was gonna say that. Did he get there twice? Was he on that Kansas City team? Or he
Nah,
was traded after that?
he was
Okay,
traded.
that was Shady who stole the ring. You're right.
Hmm.
He did nothing. Must feel good to do nothing and say you're a champion. But for me, is Josh Allen overrated? I say yes. Definitely, because of right there. If everything is judged about your playoff success, when it's time for you to go up against those honchos, you're supposed to make it happen. Now you lose to Joe Burrow in Kansas City. I mean, in Cincinnati. I'll say, okay, you were on the road. Same thing happened when you lose to Mahomes. You were on the road. But the fact that Joe Burrow came to Buffalo in the snow, beat you, moved on.
Beat you badly at that.
Mahomes came to your city again in the snow. It wasn't snow in this game, but it was snow. Beat you again. It came down to a kick, but you got to make the right play. Because technically, if you would have made the right play, you get a first down, you live to see another day. You probably could have scored a touchdown or got your
you get a closer field goal
for a kicker who's already having a bad 2 weeks. This is
Mm-hmm.
what happens. Yes, Josh Allen is overrated. If you in the comments and you want to say I'm crazy because he threw the same amount of touchdowns that he did as interceptions, you can say that. But if you're a quarterback in this league, you don't want your quarterback to be known for leading the league in turnovers just as much as he did in touchdowns.
Especially not leading the league in turnovers since he's been in the league.
Yep. And one more thing, while I have this airtime, all offseason I heard, it was a running thing. We're going to run the ball more. We're going to run the ball more to protect our quarterback because he had one bad season of interceptions. Meanwhile, you have the other guy who's known for turnovers. Once the offensive coordinator gets fired, they implemented that same style, and they were in another heavyweight fight with a great quarterback. Technically, that firing of the offensive coordinator got them to the playoffs because it was protecting the football.
Yep.
So,
Thanks to they fired Ken Dorsey, at who's their OC, and Joe Brady, who's now the OC, has helped out. And all you see now is more of James Cook running the ball, which is what we said a while ago. We said that if they run the ball more, it will help the quarterback. And now look, his team was able to win a playoff game this year, and they were minutes away from being able to at least get to overtime against the Chiefs, but we see that didn't happen.
Exactly. And one person I know that laughed right after crying a little bit was Singletary because he was like, well, I mean, y'all said it was me. Y'all said it was me.
Mm-hmm. And we saw what Singletary did this year with the Houston Texans.
Exactly. So, hey, Josh, maybe if you go get Zeke or something, that might make this cipher complete. Or honestly, if Josh Allen had wide receiver by committee, I think that'd be better for his career.
If Josh Allen had Mike Evans and Stephon Diggs, that might help him out too.
Nah, we try and keep him from throwing the ball, Dave. He gonna go crazy.
But what I'm saying is, you at least got a receiver that's gonna get up and go get it.
Gabe will go get it.
Yeah, but Gabe was also hurt. You got to remember Gabe was hurt. But what I'm saying is, I'm trusting Mike Evans more than I trust the other two. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'd rather Mike Evans drop the ball than do what the other two was doing. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Now, with that being said, if y'all don't think Josh Allen is overrated, leave it in the comments. If y'all think he is overrated, leave it in the comments too. We here. We like to go. I go comment searching sometimes. I'll respond.
Yep.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.